Hello friends, the subject of today's lesson is There's None Else Besides Him. We read selected excerpts from the sources. We'll start by watching a lesson that gave us on the 23rd of August, 2019. Please Shalom. Hello. Our lesson today is a special lesson. Laitman will give it from India. We'll soon move to RA. The first part will be questions and answers. Anyone who has a question is invited to put up his hand if he's here in the study hall or send it through our internet website, cub.tv, or put up the question mark in the groups all over the world or in Israel. We're moving to you, Rob Laitman, please. So we're continuing our topic. There's none else besides him. It'll go according to your questions. What kind of there's none else besides him you want us to engage in, whether we should read or what we went through yesterday, or maybe add more exhibits today that we've prepared, and also questions from yesterday and from today and from all the groups. I'm willing to listen and I'll try to answer, so let's go. We are on the same topic, the most important topic, because it talks about the connection of the Creator's creator with the created beings. The Creator made a preparation to bring us this connection, and we should try to reveal it on by ourselves. Why should it be this way, and not that we will be ready in advance to reveal the Creator? The thing is that there is something called yearning to the extent that we create by ourselves, our lack for revealing the Creator. By that we imagine it. We feel Him, we connect to Him, and accordingly we become like Him, meaning not only we not only know superficially that there is a higher force that created us, and one way or the other we can connect to it, but the connection to it back not externally or superficially, like we can connect to one another in this world, person to person. Rather, connecting to the Creator has a specific nature characteristic. We have to have the same nature, the same thoughts, the same desires, the same qualities as the Creator, and according to this, when we connect to Him to that extent, we have to be like Him, and then our thoughts and desires, we don't hear them from Him, and who knows how we understand them. With the Creator it doesn't work this way, that I hear like in this world, like I can hear something from a friend in this world, and who knows if I understood what he said correctly. Did he convey exactly what he wanted to convey, etc.? With the Creator it follows the law of equivalence of form, meaning that to the extent that I reveal my qualities as the qualities of the Creator, only then do I feel Him, understand Him, and what I see and hear according to my vessel, something external like in this world, which is why none of us can know if he feels and understands something correctly or not. This is why we also can't compare our own feelings and our own understandings in this world, because we're not working according to the equivalence of form. But with the Creator, He has prepared for us a connection with Him in such a way that only to the extent that we acquire the same qualities and exactly the same force and relation and the same data, only then do we feel Him and discover Him and understand Him. And of course in this there can be no mistakes. That's the difference between attainment in this world, which we picture in our senses without being identical with the topic itself, whereas with the Creator we have to achieve equivalence of form, adhesion. So there's a problem here. We have to change our nature, and only when our nature is as the nature of the Creator do we attain Him, and this is why this attainment is true spiritual attainment. There are no doubts in it, and this is why it is eternal and governing. This is one of the manners of connection to There's None Else Besides Him, and there are others. We will get to it. There are other forms, special forms to connect to the Creator, as opposed to connections among the created beings in this world. Also, what is good about this type of connecting according to equivalence of form is that we cannot lie to ourselves. We cannot mislead ourselves. What we feel will is certain to be the Creator, the level of connection itself, and what we perceive will be He in self. Of course, according to the level, the measure of our clay, to the extent that our clay is ready for equivalence of form, but everything is determined according to the equivalence of the their vessels. Well, if there are questions, let's hear it, and if not, we'll just follow our excerpts, and there's none else besides him. I'll go ahead. Right now I don't see any questions. So, let's move on to the next excerpt. Our next excerpt is excerpt number 5 from the introduction to the Book of Sohar on the night of their bride 138. When we use the vessels of reception, contrary to how they were created, we necessarily feel evil in the operations of providence in relation to us. It is a law that the created being cannot receive disclosed evil from the Creator, for it is a law, a flaw in the glory of the Creator for the created being to perceive him as an evildoer. For this is unbecoming of the complete operator. Hence, when one feels bad, denial of the Creator guidance lies upon him, and the superior operator is concealed from him to that same extent. This is the greatest punishment in the world. Thus the sensation of good and evil in relation to his guidance brings with it the sensation of reward and punishment. For one who exerts not to art from faith in the Creator is rewarded even when he tastes a bad taste in providence, and if he does not exert, he will have a punishment because he is separated from faith in the Creator. Basically, what we see from this is that it's relatively simple. If we lock ourselves on the upper source from which we get all the senses, all the thoughts, desires, everything that goes through us, comes from him to such an extent that we feel ourselves only as receivers and he as the source. That is in us in our entire plea, filling it to the brim and controlling it completely. We need to come to a state where we, first of all, don't disturb the Creator, don't interfere with the Creator tending to us. By this we come to a state called this desire and mercy. Let's put it this way. Afterwards, we ourselves want to perform actions toward our congruence with the Creator, and then we begin to bring up, awaken, and reveal our own desire, the desire on our part, and moreover, the more our desire is opposite, opposing, disagreeing with the Creator, we suddenly discover that we have the evil inclination. That's after we've attained the level of equivalence in where we are completely anal before the Creator. So we come to a state where we don't want to anal. I want to think differently, I want to do differently, and why is this way the right way? As if we're standing opposite from the Creator, because it helps us see in everything where our opposite S can be and where our Vic can be above it. But that's already a more advanced stage in work, the work of the Creator. For now, the initial work is in making room, clearing room from all of our thoughts and desires for the governance of the Creator, meaning allowing him to control in such a way that there is truly none else besides him. This is stage 1. So what is he telling us? Let's read it together. The excerpt number 5, because when we use vessels of reception contrary to how they were created, meaning in order to receive, we necessarily sense evil in the operations of providence in relation to us. If I'm in concealment, what does it mean, concealment? It means my desire is not like the desire of the Creator, and then it seems to me that what is in me is not according to my will, then opposite, different will in quantity, quality, in all kinds of directions and all kinds of forces that are opposite. It is a law. So, then we are in concealment. It is a law that the creature cannot receive disclosed evil from the Creator. He explains why. For it is a flaw in the glory of the Creator for the creature to perceive him as an evildoer. The truth is you could explain it differently. The fact that we are in an opposite desire from the creators, we feel him as opposite, for it is unbecoming of the complete operator to show himself as seemingly doing harm. The creator does not do harm. He's not an evildoer. Everything he does is for man's benefit. But because we are, and to the extent that we sympathize with our will to receive, there's a need to conceal the creator from us. Why? It's a correction. Just imagine if you felt bad coming directly from the creator. No, it comes from people from all kinds of reasons, even from your own fault. But it's hard for us to point to the creator as doing something bad because he made the concealment. And then, precisely, thanks to the concealment, I remain seemingly connected to him. Meaning the concealment doesn't allow me to actually connect and hold on to him. But at the same time, I don't become separated. I don't hate him because he is concealed as the source of every feeling and thought. Hence, when one feels bad, denial of the creator's guidance lies upon him, and the superior operator is concealed from him to that same extent, meaning the bad feeling in itself immediately covers the operator and causes disconnection. Thus the feeling of good and bad in his guidance brings with it the sensation of reward and punishment. The reward is to feel the creator and the punishment is to stop feeling him. So we are constantly in between them. Therefore, the sensation of good and evil in his guidance brings with it the sensation of reward and punishment. For one who exerts not to part from faith in the creator, the sensation of the creator, although he tastes bad in providence, is rewarded. So here comes the question. What can I do? Work on my will to receive even though I feel bad, and as a result of the bad I am detached from the creator. Or it could be that even though I feel good in a corporeal sense right now, and therefore become detached from the creator if I in those two cases, in revealing the bad or in feeling good in corporality or in feeling bad in spirituality, if I exert not to part from the feeling that it comes to me from the creator and I'm connected to him on top of all those forms that go through me, although I taste bad in providence, he is rewarded, and if he does not exert, he will be punished. He will suffer a punishment. What is the punishment? That he is separated from the creator. So here we have two things. It depends from what I become disconnected. Either I disconnect by feeling bad or I disconnect by feeling good. Both things, I don't look at them as feeling good or bad. I look at them as being detached from my connection with the creator, that he did everything to me, and in through all of these exercises that he takes me through, he brings me the sense. When he brings me the sensation of suffering or pleasure, he's playing with me as if he wants to disconnect me from him. If I exert to attribute to him these changes too and say that even though I feel bad or even though I feel good, all those feelings that come to me are not in order to disconnect me from the creator, but on the contrary, they are in order to strengthen my connection with him, then it turns out that I use all those exercises correctly. Exercises I constantly receive from him, and we call these exercises our lives. Questions. What are these exercises? What exercises do we get from him? Exercises were constantly of constantly feeling good or bad, and the good feeling or bad feeling. Both good in the sense that I feel what I feel in my senses, I feel pleasures, so that too disconnects me from the creator, or I feel bad in my senses, and that too disconnects me from the creator. So how then do I try not to be disconnected? So I have to elevate myself, raise myself above their feelings and try to be attached to the creator so that my connection with the creator will be more important from any good or bad that I will go through. Next, Mo, please. We have here an impression from Providence that is perceived felt as bad. Is it bad that stems from the person or the attitude towards him? What is the meaning here? Bad can be spiritual or corporeal. A bad feeling. No, it's okay. We hear you now. If I feel bad, the bad can be corporeal or spiritual. Corporeal can be anything that disconnects me from the Creator. Whatever I experience bad or good in my feelings, in my thoughts, but if it disconnects me from the Creator, then it doesn't matter how I feel it, as good or bad, meaning as pleasure or pain, suffering. I want to establish a different approach, different relation to Providence. Do I feel the Creator more? Do I have a greater necessity to be connected to Him or not? To that, this is how I check according to this. Let's say I feel all kinds of forms suffering and not I'm happy with something that happens to me in life, but these things specifically, these things keep me in and sustain me and keep me connected to the Creator. Then I'm on His side and not on the side of my feelings, and I thank Him for helping me not to be detached from Him, at least in this way. This is the punishment, which is, as he writes, the biggest punishment in reality. Disconnection from Providence. But if I can be grateful, as it says, all my bones shall say, if I can be connected to the Creator along with the bad feeling as good, and to such an extent that I will also feel that it's good, this is preferable. That's the difference between bestowing in order to bestow above all the troubles, where I might not even have a shirt, like the one who desires mercy, who lives in the woods, or if I'm working in receiving in order to bestow, when all of one's can work in the opposite way. A go ahead gone. Please, Rob. We talked about it, that the suffering and pleasure that come to the person is like an exercise of the Creator that disconnects him, and by that he needs to connect stronger to the Creator. But our beginning initial point is that we are disconnected from the Creator. So what does it mean to be connected with the Creator, and how can we use these exercises in order to cleave unto Him, to adhere to Him? I would say that the point where we scrutinize our connection to the Creator, our level of connection to the Creator, has to be, as we learn now, that there's none else besides Him. Meaning everything I feel, it's easier in feeling than in the thoughts, because everything is clarified in the thought. So it's harder for us to scrutinize and clarify the thoughts, but feelings, that everything that happens to me in life, whatever they are, I take it through, I go through it in such a way that it doesn't matter what I feel, good or bad above it. I have a connection with the Creator, that it came from Him, and I try to constantly maintain the connection with Him, and the connection with Him has to be more important to me than any feeling, good or bad, that I may have in life. This is simple faith, simple, regular, popular faith. You can see it in many ways in people, regular people, but there's none else besides Him. You hear it from your GR, from your granny, doesn't matter from who, but we're saying that we have to come to a state that there is no good or bad, but rather it all comes from Him, and therefore we have to attain the Creator, not as doing good or bad, but as doing good, absolutely, completely. And this is why we have to change ourselves. The whole difference between blind faith that the regular folk have, that we have, is that we want to attain the Creator as doing good, not as doing bad. That He operates us in feelings of good and bad feelings, precisely so that we would exert and not part from Providence on top of all the good or bad feelings. This forces me to correct myself, so I will not feel the Creator ever as doing anything bad in the world. This is how I check to what extent I am attached and adhered to the two Providence. This is why the revelation of the Creator, the upper force, is mandatory for us, not in order to feel the upper world, but in order to not curse the Creator. Let's put it this way: to the extent that a person feels bad in the world in his life whether he wants to or not he's for sure cursing the Creator just by that every single moment the minute I'm dissatisfied with anything the smallest thing it means I am ready disagreeing with the Creator meaning I'm cursing him. The next question please. How can I correct myself exactly? Correcting myself means I'm included in the tin. I obtain the clear vessel. And to the extent that I'm included in the clear ones I have been included in. The tin being included in the tin means seemingly that you cross the barrier the max you're included after you're included. You have to start connecting to them in a manner of partnership where my Kalim and their Kim begin to unite. It's like in technology you have to break the resistance to the merging. It's like two metals that you weld together and heat them together until they become liquid and then they mix and become one that's made of two. So here is our whole correction. We have to break all the barriers between us, all the partitions that exist in each of us. Many partitions. Let's call them 613 or 620. And each one has his own. Until we to some extent, at least in of the roots of youth. Gradually we become willing to mingle and merge and be included until he and I there is no difference between us in the tent and then with the whole world and the Creator. So the most important is a person's willingness to locate to detect how he can open himself up to absorbing alien desires, because precisely by having these foreign desires and demanding corrections for them and fillings for them while they are in me, by this I correct the clay, then by this I become the and these that I bring closer to me, they become like my body, etc. You said that when we started the conversation you said that everything depends on your level of nullment. Opposite the Creator. I don't know the Creator. So what kind of nullment? Opposite whom should I know? Before the 10. The 10 is always depicted in you as a plea in which you have to be an old. There's nothing else. You think afterwards there will be no 10. There's always a 10. You're always working with them. But my problem is what is this concept to annul? I've been hearing it for a long time. But what does it mean? What is this concept? To annul means that there is nothing in me. There's no distance between you and them. The desires, the thoughts, everything is common. So much so that on one hand, you're always working to connect them, tend to them, nurture them, develop them, and fill them. This is the clay. That from your perspective is the Harver, the Creator, the soul, and you have to constantly think how you fill them with the Creator. You are like, and they are like, the bottom 9, and you work with them. On the other hand, you work like as like. The point of mal you draw you are the one who's deficient, and not they and what you see. So in this way you work with them. In other words, the point of is where you seemingly transfer to them. The point of malhood is where you draw, where you work in drawing this light and passing it on to them. That's you. They are everyone, everything else. So your whole work is only to fill them like little children. So I need to work on my ego to revoke my ego. What am I supposed to do? If you need to, of course, yes. Surely to cancel my ego by this you annul your ego. How can you tend to them if you remain in your ego? So I should work above it, above the ego, seemingly to relinquish it. The ego is there. I can't hear what you're saying. I can't cancel my ego. The ego is the ego. What am I supposed to do with it? It's limit that the earphone gets disconnected for some reason. I can't hear anything. Do you hear us now? Yeah, now I can hear you. Was asking, but I cannot cancel my ego. The ego is the ego. So what am I supposed to do? Well, that's what it's all about. How can I feel the Creator? I have to invert My will to receive in such a way that it becomes congruent with him, and then I'll understand him and feel him. I can't receive him in my are intended only to receive this world. Afterwards, we'll learn. What is this image that we get? Why? It's called the imaginary world. We're not even here. It's all the game being played in us. We are seemingly in a reality that is not real. It exists in us. We live, get up, work, live. We even die. We have children. But all of it is not life. It's not alive. It's all my imagination. This is why it's called the imaginary world. But to feel spirituality, we have no choice. We have to prepare our Kim for it. Otherwise, we won't feel it. The Creator can do everything except for one thing. We cannot receive our independence from anyone, only if we do it ourselves. You could say He is Almighty. Why not? Why can't He do it? But that's the way it is. Salt Lake City. The next question is from Salt Lake City. Salt Lake City, please. Rob, good morning. It's clear of the different feelings that we receive from our desires. It's clear the question I have. What is our general essence as a tend towards the Creator? Again, what is our general ethics as a ten towards the Creator, please? The minute you are built like a ten to the smallest extent of congruence of similarity between you and the Creator, when you come to a state in the connection between you where on top of their remoteness between you will achieve some level of connection that is in congruence with the Creator, even to even the smallest extent, 1 part of 125 or even less, the tiniest bit, then you will immediately feel in the connection between you that you will achieve that the Creator is filling you, that He is present in you. As we learn in the essay The Ascent of the Prayer, in the descent of the prayer. So these are our levels of matching of congruence. We have to understand that there's a matter of feeling the Creator, which is something else, different from the way we feel people in this world. In our world, I can't really say that I feel someone or understand someone because I didn't build in me a clue where that person is in me. So I can say that I understand him. But with the Creator, the attainment is according to the equivalence of form, which means that there has to be in me a desire, which is adapted, built in such a way that it gives me a sensation of the Creator. I have no words here. The next question is from the internet. It's a question by a student from AUA. We see that the image of the external world, we see the external world becoming more and more ruined, destroyed. It's scary to open the newspaper even. So is that how the connection between us and our adhesion with the Creator, are they supposed to also change the external form of the world? That's a good question. Indeed, the world is moving very quickly toward a point in which people will really be able to see what is the life that they are in. What can I say? You see each day that more and more disasters and problems are emerging. Mainly it's ecological problems in nature, problems in human society. The general problem that is happening here both in nature and in human society is that we can't do anything if, in the past, it was clear that we have this and that problem and we have to deal with them. We have to cool ourselves, warm ourselves. We have to build maybe new laws in human societies. Maybe we need to do some sort of revolution, do something with ourselves, with our world, with the connections between us. Today, everyone knows that we're in a crisis. Everyone knows that what we're feeling is true and correct, that we are going down the drain and we can't do anything at the same time. I would say that it's never been this way. Always through all the stages of the development of human society, we felt that we had the strength to do something to change something. It's a wonder what is happening today. That we are so strong and understanding, and we feel that we have so much so many powers. We have technology and everything, and we're totally helpless. Look what economists are writing, educators, doctors, everyone's in a state of helplessness in general. And this is why it seems to me like it's a very good situation. It's a sign that indicates that we have no one to turn to except to the Creator. There's no one else to turn, to rely on. And this is where people are. There's the spirit in the world that nothing good can come from us anymore. That's why the sensation of helplessness is increasing, and it must increase, and we need to provide answers to it. There's a sign that the sign that we're getting from the Creator today should bring us to a state where the more helpless we feel, that we are, the faster we will be able to understand the truth that everything was given only so that we agree with providence. Yes, please. The next question is from Jerusalem. Jerusalem. Go ahead. Good morning. Rar. First of all, I want to announce that today in Jerusalem we have connection. We were privileged with hosting a tent. From here comes the question. What is this act of subjugation? Submission? We're not speaking of all kinds of submissions that you have to things like, you can say that you are submitting yourself for your ego. The act of submission or subjugation is when you are willing to do everything in order not to part from the sensation in the organs, from the understanding in the mind that the Creator is constantly present as preceding my thoughts and my actions. I want to come to a state called all my bones will say that He's present in all my bones, and He is running me and moving my mind and heart in general in everything that I can even imagine. So this is what I have to aspire to. Please. Next question from Nahiria. Good morning. I cannot correct myself. I need to ask for correction too. Pray. I can't really ask for correction and pray if I am still certain that I can do something myself. We also learned about it that there's none so wise as he experienced, and only when a person gives up is he willing, is he ready for their real prayer. On one hand, on the other hand, I have to go through, so I have to go through all the opportunities I have until I give up on all of them and see what comes out of it, and then I get wise and smart, and then I am despaired enough until so that I can ask the Creator, is this how it works? They say, no, rather I can trust others. I can choose the most applicable acts in acts of implementing providence, and when I become attached to them, then I can activate myself correctly toward the Creator. But in the end, it's summarized, it's summed up in the request when I pray and ask and beg that I will receive some sort of help. Only this saves me. A prisoner does not free himself from imprisonment. Also with regard to the friends who brings him out of there, and also with regard to the Creator who brings him out from there. The next question from here, Acker. We were talking yesterday and also today, you've been repeating a lot the fact that we have to reach integration. So how is the integration related to equivalence of form? We can't hear you. You're on mute. What is the connection between the mingling and equivalence of formal? Is still not equivalent of form. It is, there is it potential and actual. In practice, there's it in actions, in thoughts. There is its incongruence. There are many when we're talking about that I do with the group, and to what extent we're included in each other, and begin to feel that we are going in the same direction of the thought. That's the beginning of the, let's call it 0 level, like ground level, but then we have to work on. It is when more and more of the will to receive emerges, and I feel how much I don't want it, and I resist it, and I can't, and I'm not even into it. I don't want it, not with the friends, not With the Creator I check it and see how much I don't want to mingle and merge with the friends to that extent, but 600 times more I don't want to merge with the Creator. I have to believe that this is something because I still don't feel it, but in any case the lack of it with the friends directs me correctly, that's it. So how do I check? I constantly feeling how my will to receive grows and doesn't let me think of others. Not even for a minute. Even more than that, I curse them. I don't want them, they bother me. I want to feel alone, completely not belonging to anyone. And here, when the desires and intentions surface that oppose connection, to that extent I can measure what is happening to me. To that extent, according to this, I can divide my egoistic will to receive into 620 times and see to what extent I am or am not included in them, how much by being included with them I make room for the Creator to clothe in my with the environment. That's all of our work, our practical work. So how do we carry out it? Because yesterday from the day we talked a lot in the 10 about the need, the necessity to integrate. What does it practically mean to integrate? To integrate or become included means you feel on top of all the disturbances. Connection. We don't really understand that in our world because we don't have free lines. We don't have a situation where you're against and on the other hand you forcefully and forcibly act in favor and you connect both of them to the upper source, to the Creator. We don't have that, but we have to at least feel what is unique about spirituality, because until I connect to another person for the first time, I don't know what is connection. Afterwards, in this connection with the other that I built, all kinds of disturbances begin to enter in there, and I'm willing to continue with them as long as it takes. And on top of it, I measure my levels of meaning. If I didn't have the left line, I wouldn't be able to measure the level of it. But I measure it precisely between the left and the right. And the middle line is what determines. So how do you shift from a state where you have your own kli to a state where you begin to act out of the common, the shared kim? That's a correct question. Correct question. A need to lose himself because he has no choice. Lose himself in others. Because only in this way into why merge to unite with the Creator. My hit with the environment stands between me and the Creator. It is the clay. It is my kli. It is my ability to emerge from myself. There's nothing you can do. Next. The next question is from Australia. Australia and Asia, please. Raf, good morning. I don't know how, but you basically describe all the states that lately I mean personally I'm going through, so I still don't understand what's my attitude towards those feelings that I feel like hatred, like sometimes it goes up to this, and how can I rise above it and feel that all comes from him and he's good. That does good, because 2 moments ago I was amazingly, if everything was great, but then all of a sudden like something dropped on me. What's the approach? Thank you. Just as our lives divide into numerous specific situations, just like you have to breathe all the time, just like you have materials that change and interchange, life is a sequence of infinite, repetitive operations which repeat themselves each day. That's why I can't say anything new, but only time and time again to bring myself back to connection constantly. A little more and a little more and a little more, but to nothing else but connection. Because in connection what happens is that you have kind of an ingathering of all the forces that oppose the Creator. This is how we created it. That's why he broke the clay. Because in the way that you go toward connecting his parts, that's how you attain him. You don't connect one to the other and then the two of them become connected. The connection itself the stitch that you build is actually the quality of the Creator that you attain from the perspective of the created being. That's how he attains the Creator. And this is why you shouldn't despair with the day-to-day work. It has to continue this way. And if I end my life with this or yes or no, I don't ask. I don't ask. I understand beginners. They want to achieve, and when will that happen? But in truth, a genuine worker does not ask, when will it end? He just continues, every day new, and precisely by this the clay is built, and with environment not give up on. That can come after many years. So what? That's the work. It's a sign you have a deep soul, heavy. What can you do? He who is greater than his friend, his desire is greater than him. So what should I be? If I'm great, my evil inclination is great, and accordingly I need to work, or the other way around. Each one must accept what he has. And the minute a person surrenders and understands that he has to only perform the act of connection, then everything gets easier. Let's go. You want to change the topic? We have a few more questions. KF, please. We talked about that where we operate out of the collective. Kim, we feel the friends and we stop feeling ourselves. So at what point can I feel that there is none else besides him? There's none else besides the Creator. You will feel it according to your Kli. How can it be otherwise, like Ash writes? And then I feel good with the friends. And then I dance, and the distance doesn't create any changes, and then I begin to feel that there is nothing in the world but only the friends, etc. These are all the forms that we have to attain. And then also not the friends, but one block, one body, and then there, the upper light is revealed. No, I don't know what else to continue. For all the connections and thousands of changes that you have in you in the group, and the more you scrutinize things, the more you will be satisfied. Later with all of these discernments, the negative discernment that will increase. Out of this, a richer Kli, a deeper Kli is born. And to that extent, you reveal the Creator. Can we move on to the next excerpt from There Is None Else Besides Him? Excerpt number 6 says in Shamari 1, one must always try to adhere to the Creator, namely, that all his thoughts will be about him. That is to say, even if he is in the worst state from which there cannot be a greater decline, he should not leave his domain, namely, that there is another authority that prevents him from entering holiness, that can benefit or harm. That is, he must not think that there is the force of the citra, the other side, that does not let the person do good deeds and walk in the ways of the Creator. Rather, all is done by the Creator. The Bant have said that he who says that there is another force in the world, namely Kipot, shells, this person is in the state of serving other gods. It is not necessarily the thought of heresy that is the transgression, but rather if he thinks that there is another authority and force apart from the Creator, he is committing a transgression. Furthermore, one who says that man has his own authority, that is, he says that yesterday he himself did not want to follow the Creator's way. This too is considered committing the transgression of heresy, meaning he does not believe that only the Creator is the leader of the world. Koresh, maybe should read it again. One must try to always adhere to the Creator, namely, that all his thoughts will be about him. That is to say, even if he is in the worst state from which there cannot be a greater decline, he should not leave his domain, namely, that there is another authority that prevents him from entering the kasher that can benefit or harm. That is, he must not think that there is a force of the citra that does not let a person do good deeds and walk in the ways of the Creator. Rather, all is done by the Creator. The Bams have said that he who says that there is another force in the world, namely Kaput, that person is in a state of serving other gods. It is not necessarily the thought of heresy that is the transgression, but rather if he thinks that there is another authority and force apart from the Creator, he is committing a transgression. Furthermore, one who says that man has his own authority, that is, he says that yesterday he himself did not want to follow the Creator's way. This too is considered committing the transgression of heresy, meaning he does not believe that only the Creator is the leader of the world. Questions. Moscow, please. Moscow morning. Root. Every morning lesson you give us a description of the process of adhesion with the Creator through the addition with the 10, and you give it in a fragmented manner. Since until the Moldova Congress we have 2 weeks left, and you personally gave us a task for us to turn into one CLE before the Congress. The question is, can we describe it in terms of the process of adhesion with the 10, not in a fragmented manner, but on a continuous manner from beginning to end? Let's say everything begins from annulment and subjugation, then it cal, and then some sort of dissolving. Can we talk about the full process of adhesion stage after stage? Thank you. I don't think you can really depict it because it's in an emotional minor thing, and we're not really in, and we're not in degrees yet where we can talk about the thickness and hardness of the NS. We don't have the delight of yet. So by fragmented, or I mean that every moment something else surfaces and the situations change. That's why we have to renew them every single moment, more and more so. But most important, we have to be happy every moment that we are renewing the connection. The contact, the Creator disconnects and we reconnect. He disconnects and we reconnect. By this, we bring him pleasure. It's as if he rejects us and we get closer. He rejects us and we move closer. And likewise every time more and more. So, these are the stages of attainment. For now. Afterwards, they will be more, they will be clearer. Meaning we have no other work, only to renew the connection with the Greater on top of all the disturbances, that there's none else besides him. Everything is from him. Through the friends, there I discover him there. I give him room on top of all the disturbances as much as possible in the connection between us two. Be in the connection between us to such an extent that the connection between us can be the network where it can be revealed. That's it. Another question. Right now there are no more questions. We can move on to the next excerpt. Number 7. Is that okay, Rob? Yes. Things are moving in such a way that we already spoke a lot about it, and in 2 weeks we'll have a Congress, and there we will try to get into it deeper and in greater detail. Okay. Before the next, we have another question. From Amit. In that quote we read, it says that a person should try to always walk in the way that he is adhered. And the Zohar always also says that a person should make an effort, and if he does not succeed in exerting, he will be punished. What does it truly mean to exert, to try? The punishment is the disconnection from the Creator, and the mitzvah, the commandment or good deed, is to connect among us and grasp the Creator who is revealed between us, to make efforts toward that in order to please him and be ready and willing that even if the Creator is revealed, it's all from us outwards toward him and nothing towards us. Just like right now we all have the feeling and intention that let him be revealed already, let him be revealed. Why does he, what does he care? Why shouldn't he be revealed already? We have to understand that what is this? This is how I demand him for myself. The revelation of the Creator should also be in order to bestow, otherwise my whole work will become a keeper, a shell. So we need to think more here, but it'll fall into place. Even if a person doesn't know and doesn't think and doesn't understand the effort itself when he is with thousands of other people, it helps a lot. Yes, please. How is the effort determined? What determines a person's effort if it will be beneficial or not? Beneficial or not depends on his work. The way it is beneficial or not depends on the point in the heart, the root of the soul. Why? Because there is always a feeling that I'm not exerting enough no matter what you do. Not exerting enough. Does it stem from him wanting to feel quickly, receive quickly? Not because I actually feel that I have no forces, no abilities, that time missing out on opportunities. It's all clarified in the group. I can't tell you. We're talking about something that maybe you mean something else. You're referring to something else that I am. You understand. The whole problem is that we have to build a clay the temple. What is the temple? It's the clay the ten that can contain within it the upper light to the extent of bestow that is in it. That's it. So we have to exert only in this direction. Maybe we're lying to ourselves and we're actually aiming for something else. So why I don't have a choice? Maybe I really am aiming for something else, but because I don't have a choice. So and I hope that out of this the correction will come, and this is actually called the mitzvah, the good deed. The mitzvah means I want to correct part of my work that is called mitzvah, is that I raise man for correct. Let's go to a workshop between us and summarize the lesson and the 10 a special lesson. We feel the preparation to the Congress like screw, and we're screwing deeper into the hour discernments. So a prayer to be in connection between all friends. And I wrote here a part where love was speaking. We're not even here, it's all game or in a reality that isn't real, that exists in us. We live, we wake up, we go to work, we die, we are born, we give birth. It's all only make-believe. That's why it's called the imaginary world. But to feel spirituality, we have no choice. We must prepare our vessels for this, otherwise we won't feel them. The Creator can do anything except for one thing, that our independence. We can't receive that from anyone, only if we do it on our own. That's it, friends. We're one moment from going into the convention to do it on our own. Give the friends that yearning and invite the Creator. None else besides Him, and that will be our reality. All of us may we succeed. I heard that the whole of life is an exercise to not detach from the Creator, so that He will be more important than the feelings of good or bad, and seemingly that needs to be the whole life of a capitalist, of a person who's on the path spiritually. That's it. We have no other work other than to renew the contact with the Creator each day. I also heard that a person who working well is not one who's asking when the work ends, but he just simply works. So I think that's all possible through the support between us, that we do that in the 10. And there's also there's this field of work with the contact with the Creator, and that contact with the Creator is in our connection in the 10. That's how it is brought. Only through the 10 we can scrutinize between truth and false, bitter and sweet, and adhere to the Creator in every moment in life. It's one great exercise till we build the common vessel where we can bestow contentment to Him. That point of scrutiny between the truth and false, bitter or sweet, that's our option in order to manage a world to receive. How do you even conduct it? According to what parameter truth or false on the other hand? How do we let the ego manage us? Between good and bad, between the bitter and sweet. That's how our ego works. And those two vectors, those two axes, those are the axes that help us work forward. And I'll read the excerpt. That ego talked about everything that's happening to me in life. So I'll read something else. Everything in my life, whatever it may be, I pass it in a way that no matter what I feel, good or bad, I'm above it within a connection with the Creator that it came from Him. I try to constantly keep contact with Him, and that should be more important than any good or bad feeling I have in my life. That is the point. That's exactly the most important point we have in life. What those ideas are that are leading us. What are those values that according to them we can go? And that's above the feeling of the will to receive and the preparation to the Congress. There are a lot of states where you don't agree with friends, or maybe you do agree. Sometimes it's a good feeling or a bad feeling. Sometimes you're mad at them. Sometimes you're happy. But that's in this world. But all the friends, for sure it's felt how everybody is doing for the sake of the Congress, and every friend who stands ground on his opinion, and it's because he's thinking for the benefit of the friends. So sometimes there are a lot of forms of good and bad. There's only one truth to help the friends unite, to give them the opportunity to open the heart. That's the one direction. There are all kinds of things, very special things. The what we need to grasp on all the time is in the entrances and exits. Exits that we go through numerate countless times. And our work is constantly to hold on to and to try to not exit the feeling of there is none else besides Him to return to it above all the obstacles, and to become stronger in that. The friends added, a corporation is that more and more will receive is revealed, and I feel how I don't want, I resist, I can't, I'm not even in this, I don't want it, not with the friends, not with the Creator. I check and I see as much as I don't want to come closer to the, and we have to believe that this is the way it is. Lack of incorporation with the soul is saying that above all disturbances and lack of incorporation, we keep choosing connection because we know what the goal is. We want it together as one is our focus always, and especially now the togetherness, so that there will be no empty place, and that's how we want to enter the Congress. Now, and only to do that effort of let's sing a song together. Now every man has you know inside there's a candle that glows, and there's no fire that burns like the light of his friends. And we must understand that our work to reveal what's for us can only be done when we join all our hearts into one, and inside there are sparks into all together we pray. Make a request to the light. Inside there are sparks to unite in the fire of love. For sure. Oh, so come up with your love. Fresh heat, heat, heat. Okay, beloved friends, we have reached the end of the preparation for this wonderful Congress. We're going to go through from tomorrow, about to head out onto the path. That's a feeling. We did a lot of work, and we simply have completed all the prior stages, and we are now ready to head out onto the path. Our friends now are in the air. Some of them have already reached their destinations around the world. There's friends traveling to America. There's people who are in Guadalajara in Kazakhstan. We have a big delegation. Really, the whole CLE is in this movement of heading out towards these congresses, and we're going to go on a big path. We need to take some equipment with us on the path. We need to bring something to someone. We need to take something from someone. So we'll open that up today. We'll speak about it so that we'll have a bit of inner inspiration towards the special gathering that we're going to have tomorrow in the preparation we just did. Now, a friend said, now that the friends are on their way, we will be tighter, more tightly connected in our hearts. So let us be more tightly connected in our hearts between us. Just as Sad said, so many years of studying and connecting and efforts and exertion, and now we reach a very determining moment that every friend that is sitting here feels a deep in his heart, and knows that this is the moment. And really, like Al said in this the terminating moment that now we're entering the king's palace. What do we want to put in our backpack? What do we want to put in each one in order to give it to the friends? What will the friend need in that hall to really prepare in this way now? And let's start. I'm hearing speaking exactly about that clip. Dear, what do you expect from us, Banu? At the upcoming Congress, I'm expecting everyone with no exceptions, each and everyone, all of us, together, will ascend and enter the hall of the Creator, and discover all of the exalted souls that are there and expecting arisen into there. Then when we will rise and reveal it, we will see the world true. That's what I'm expecting. That's what I'm waiting for. This is what I'm praying for. Now that we heard, Rabash seemed to me, at least it seemed to me, that Rav entered into this inner state when he is Rabash, and we small ones need to thank you and Rabash very much. So I want to ask, how do we give you and Rabash contentment at this upcoming Congress? Only the connection between us. We don't need anything but that. Let's connect in a way that there won't be anything else to add. Simply nothing more to add than what? Than us connecting between us in one heart. One heart is what the Creator demands of us. I really hope that we will do it. Each one has to supposedly take his heart out of his internality and connect it to everyone, to all the hearts, which is what the Creator demands to all of you. May we all be rewarded with revelation of the Creator, and that it will happen to us in the next few days. What wrath we have. He now said we will connect such that we will not be able to add any more, and that we will reach one heart. In order to reach one heart on the way that we are heading, we need to bring some equipment to the friends. So let us have a workshop. Now, what can we give? What can we receive from the friends when we're coming closer to the palace of the King, to the palace of the Creator? And let us sit between us and speak. Yeah. Let's think and aim. What does he want now in this moment? Exactly. How does he want to prepare his friends for his friends? What does he want to put in their backpacks? What does he want to give to the friends? That's what we want to do in this workshop. So the question is, we're on our way to the hall of the Creator. What provisions can we take and give to the friends in order to succeed? Again, what provisions can we give or receive from the friends in order to succeed? Workshop. 7 minutes. Let's do it. What do we have to give and to receive? As a 10, we need to give confidence. Confidence in the path, in the feeling of the righteousness of the path, in our construction as a spiritual environment for each other. And precisely through that confidence, through the feeling, really there is this mutual guarantee between us that will give us all the opportunity to reach a prayer, to really exit oneself and to really request for one another. And that feeling does not exist in a person naturally. He receives it from the friends. So precisely it seems to me that we can really be concerned about awakening in each friend that feeling that now the time has come. Now it's going to happen. Now the Creator is giving us this privilege to exit ourselves and to be in this inclination with the heart toward the friends when took the stage. So put hands on show. We have to remember to keep our hand on the friend to hug them. This way we can also give the forces and receive the forces from the friends. And Boris left. So that is already something we can give to the friends where they're going to. Also wrote that the person who's working doesn't ask about when he's finishing the work. And it's good that that's the case. Also, if you think about it, so every friend himself is like an accumulation of states, disturbances, gifts, all the abundance of what we've absorbed from one another during the years. The main thing is not to keep it away, but when I come to society to bring that, everything the Creator put in me and now I can bring it out to the friends and to do it with emotion, not to be cheap about it, to come to the friends. He wants to drink a new feeling to renew himself. We heard in the lesson that the greater disconnects and we renew. What do we renew? The incorporation between us. So, bring this warm feeling towards one another and let the friends feel that we're burning towards this. Congress also wanted to say to all the friends who are hearing to give all of their heart and soul at this Congress, because it's really a Congress that has not taken place for a long time in the world. There's always been a lot of myths and a lot of excitement among the friends. But there are friends who can truly insert that spirit and that internality into this whole event that's happening, that they can do everything so that afterwards they can add even a little bit more. And that's what will change the Congress. And what we can give and receive from one another is the yearning for godliness, that it will be our common denominator. The upper light brought us here and wants to break through between our hearts right now. And person is happy when he is despaired of his own strength. And really, there is this readiness to incorporate with the friends. There's suddenly this free space. There is joy in that we together want connection. That's it. A lot of gratitude. I heard this week that we need to be concerned about our burning heart. That's in everything. This mutuality that we have to give and receive to the friends. I have to be concerned of their thoughts, their intentions, their actions, each and everything that we are now going to do together, also in the preparation to the convention, also in the convention itself. I constantly need to want it to ignite the hearts of all the friends. There are many friends around the world. Many are staying here. It has to be in deeds and in actions, the desire and the need for the yearning to burn in the friends, and that we will incorporate in one another with the help of God. A desire and a need that the yearning will burn in the hearts of the friends and will incorporate with the Creator's help. What can we give and receive? Firstly, examples of efforts to connect and prayer. I think that other than that, at the end of it all, there's nothing, just an example in an external way to give an effort to come closer and to give effort to come closer to friends, and internally always to turn to the Creator. Continue holding our common prayer. Continue building it to calibrate it. Hold on to everything that's happening to us. Entrances and exits from Zion. We will receive the Torah, like said in the meal. Now only to build that common heart and make efforts in it, no matter what happens, to make efforts again and again and again, and very much connected to what Oren said about yearning, that we are this gathering of friends where the Creator inserted this yearning into us. We're in the beginning, it's not so well understood. It's unclear that it leads to some place, some area, something. And here in the society, you gradually learn how to work with that and seek it in the friends, and to see that and seek that yearning. And as we heard a lot about this in the lesson, truth and falseness, bitter and sweet, we see that it's not about how bitter and sweet influences the body, but really to see that how the Creator puts this urgency in the friend to reach a correct attitude to reality, to the whole of nature, and that is something great, and we really need to help each other see reality through that, only through that where the ego is controlling. Need to stop that first. Let's see the friends is great, and again to renew the two. We start another gift we got from this lesson. My incorporation in the environment is what stands between me and the Creator. And if you see that there are friends next to you who are seemingly not next to you, so then how do they serve the Congress? And certainly their heart, they are in it day and night, that is, all without receiving bad or good feelings, but to rise above all those feelings. While the friends were speaking here, so I don't know if you paid attention on what's happening in Almaty. Show them to us for a second so they know. The Congress actually started already. They're already. Look what's going on. There. Friends, the Congress, and what we heard. From the friends, it's to be concerned of. The friends, it's to give them. Force is told us in number 2. What is more important? He was asked to give inspiration or to receive inspiration. From the friends said to give the inspiration. Show them that you have a burning heart. A burning heart. That's what's important. Why a burning heart? For what? For connection. What is a congress? A congress is connection. That's everything we actually have. One of the friends in the workshop said we were talking about what to give to their friends. He said a vacant place. I think we're the only society in reality that what we can give the other is a vacant place to open my heart and to let the friends enter in the heart. Yes, what I've said about that in the 3rd excerpt to focus our attention so that there will be no vacant space between us, that we will be adjacent so much so until that there will be no vacant space left between us. That is our direction. Herein to connect so that there is no vacant space for anything other than the connection between us that fills everything. And that's what we want to give. Also said in excerpt number 4, they asked him what does each one need to feel that he brings to the Congress. I've answered that he brings to the Congress yearning, and he seemingly disperses that among everyone, among all the participants, and each one can take that yearning and work with it. We'll read it again. Question: what does each one need to feel that they bring to the Congress, that he brings to the Congress yearning and seemingly disperses it among everyone, among all the participants, and each one can take that participant, that yearning, and work with it. And I look at your CNSER. Great friend at every time we're before some important events knows how to give us his inner force. Do you feel like saying something? It wasn't planned, but tell us something. I wanted to say one thing, and for that I need my friend Yini next to me. One very simple thing to pick yourselves that you're now looking at a certain palace on a hill with diamonds. It's sparkling, and you know that the true palace is in the heart of the friend, and there always needs to be that work to enter into the heart of the friend. That is where all our reality is, that is where all the work is. Don't get confused. In the heart we need to seek the Creator, to always be focused on that, to always be aimed at that, to always help the friends do that. We will succeed together, friends. So now we are going to go to another workshop between us. So we said we have to give them inspiration. We have to give the friends yearning. Let's ask this time what we can do as a 10, as a 10. What we can do for the whole vessel in order to give all the other 10s the yearning, the inspiration during the Congress. In this Congress, we're working as 10s. There's no individual yearning. So let's speak about that. How can we as a 10 give yearning inspiration to all the other 10s in this Congress? Yes, and after this we're going to go to a General Assembly, and all the 10s here in hall and around the world can tell us about that, and we're going to create this burning in this place. So, with flames. So let us do this workshop. What can we give as a 10? Speaking is PT 6 or 4 plus 6 that are sitting with us here. Yeah, a 10, 4 and 6. It's 10. You read a lot in the preparation that we need to connect to. 110 is an inner spiritual state, just like Ness's palace. We see it. We're climbing to that state. It's already revealed. We just see the effort that remains to climb. We know we're not climbing on our own. If we want to reach the top, I have to pull the friend from below. That's how I come to the Congress, to see who's behind me and push him ahead of me. Now that Noah spoke, I remembered that when we were kids and we used to go on our bikes, So who was considered organized? It's whoever had this. It's one who had a certain seat on their bike. Why were they considered organized? 'Cause he could inflate. So let us do that. Let us inflate everyone with the upper light to vitalize them, to give them strength and to embrace them. There are many friends around the world, and their friends are very far from their tens, from their physical tens, and it's an opportunity. It's a place where I can come and feel an ambassador, to be a representative of their tea, pass on all the flavours and tastes, all the flavours in one tent to their others, to be a representative of their creator towards every friend in the world. They take all the inspiration and all these special things that are in around the world and then back to our 10. We need to show each other that it's important to us, that this is important to us, the most important. It seems to me that one of the things is, for instance, in the preparation to the lesson, I see that a 10 that prepares itself for the lesson, that gets organized and really gives me a lot of inspiration. We don't need to know what they're saying and what they're doing there, but just the fact that they're getting together, that moment that they're taking together to organize themselves correctly, for me, that many times gives me a lot of inspiration, and I think that if I get impressed by that, so maybe other friends too. So maybe we should do that. The fact that we are as a 10, already we have contact with our creator. We have a connections. We can ask for this observation to see the yearning of other tents, and it'll help us work and awaken them to incorporate as tens. But first we have to be as a 10 in order to ask of the creator for it. First we got this very good example from Pretty 6, who joined us, and when we didn't have enough friends today, so this way we are together. That is an example of giving support, giving a good example to everyone, to be in all kinds of places in their Congress. That is all. Yes, how to give inspiration to one another in a Congress between 110 and their other to want to do it. We don't need beyond wanting to do the action, and then the creator will already make it happen. We have to pray and try in all kinds of ways, whatever we can, whether concealed or revealed, small or big, to just try and give our part, like always gives us an example. He gives his part, and from there on the creator will already decide what's going to happen. Yes, this effort certainly is internal, but it's also external, even mainly in these small examples, like Dave said in the preparation of the lesson, but even just the how one takes his empty cup at the end, and what he does for friends in the break period, how he relates to friends there. So we always this machine that gives examples and gives us correct attitudes to reality all the time. Even on the toilet, you're there, you're giving an example all the time. So there's this thing with a 10 where it needs to give an example 24 hours a day to the friend. At every second I got up from sleep, I'm on the way to the Congress. I need to be ready in this inner readiness. I need to think about the friends. I need to send a certain excerpt in WhatsApp. I need to be constantly, mainly during the Congress, in my maximum to know that the creator is always checking me. He's always with me. The friends are always wrapped around me. They're always giving an example, and always to give an example. Before he left, we couldn't stop him. He was already speaking, sharing pictures, excited from the trip and from the friends. We feel that the tent room like a grenade into the world. Please now spreading his inspiration from the friends. All the friends that went, and also the opposite when came here. So every friend here can give so much to all the others, or like sitting here and pity for all together. Each one of us can convince the creator as much as the friends he gave us are great, and he's excited from them and hugs them. We are able to convince the creator. I wanted to add That may be as a 10 we can choose some group from the world's clay, where they're having a congress, and we can just think that they are succeeding. Friends, I'll share with you something that the focus group said that I thought was this: innovation. One of the friends said, we're a machine that disseminates this example to the world. Let us now put up our question marks. Friends all around the world, put up your question marks. If us your yearning, give us your inspiration so we'll be able to feel your burning heart. Also here in the hall it's possible whoever wants to speak, not to want, you need to, we need to give inspiration and yearning to the friends. We want to do that now and to implement that in practice. So our time now is to make the friends' hearts burning. So, the friend here who wants to start, maybe we should start from the world. Let's start from French. French, please. Responsibility. You have no translation. If you could just speak in English, as do you have such an ability? Yes, yes, no problem. I was saying first, the responsibility of each 10 is to take care of those who won't be able to attend physically a congress, to tie them to us, and then for 10s and also groups just like the French-speaking group who is spread all over the world, to serve as a word diversity, to make the people around us feel the global aspect of this congress through our T's. Latin for how can we use the congress in order to reach a stronger incorporation in the 10. New York. 3. We know there's going to be a very special convention in North America is already on the way. There's going to be a huge convention after many years. You didn't have a physical congress. So, let's hear the heart of New York. Please, New York 3. Thank you, friends. We simply want to bring a desire for and an example of unity, to be a united 10. Here's Linko here exploding. Let's give it to him. Yeah. First inspiration I got from Almaty. I'm going there. There's a friend called Tatana, and a friend said that every 2 hours she goes to the airport to bring more friends, and she really took a day off, especially for that, and that's what she's doing all day. Women. 160. Hello friends. Hello, world. We're going to the convention in Pennsylvania. We want to say we're very happy, very excited. We as a 10 want to add to all the other 10 sparks in the heart, and that the connections between us will serve the great fire. Love will burn even more, and the Creator will be happy with us. It looks like in early everybody are already very close, and there's no more room to add. So show us how to do it. Ali. Thank you, friends. Many times, friends went to conventions in Israel. So, there's a depiction in your head what's happening when you come, 'cause you were there. You're expecting something specific. But when I came here, I've never been in Kazakhstan. I didn't know the center. I had no depiction. I didn't know what it looked like. Here, I had no idea where I'm going. It was complete emptiness. I didn't know what to expect. And I came to the lesson. I sat down and I feel suddenly that I'm in Israel. I'm in Israel. I feel the same thing, just like I feel as if I came to a congress in Israel. The same love, the same happiness. I feel like I'm the happiest person in the world. It was so unexpected that I come here, but I'm in Israel. I'm the happiest person in the world. The place doesn't even matter, but our common heart is what matters. What was saying the whole lesson, the common heart, the common career. We have gathering and a special report from Hungary. Let us hear the heart of Hungary, please. Hello, friends. So we are here, as you can see, behind one table. We still are kind of preparing for the Congress because the space is really huge. Our vessel is really big, and We need more hearts and more souls to fill this space, and it will be amazing. It is amazing. This is the first moment together. We just want to feel our hearts closer and fill the vacant space. Thank you. We are gathering gradually. More friends are coming every time. We feel that our hearts are connecting, and I want to wish everybody that in this Congress that the place won't affect us. No matter where we are, that we'll feel the love one towards the other, that will increase our hearts, and that our hearts will be in one big heart. And again, no matter where we are one. That's what I want to wish everyone with love, to support one another in this convention, that will listen to one another and not forget to wish for one another, to ask for one another, that will strengthen and the desire to be together. Thank you. Friends. Hello, dear beloved friends. Yesterday I received my strongest lesson in my entire life. To see here the friends, my dear friends here, Yakov and Yud, who have such devotion and yearning and love, and how they prepare this place for us. They prepared our home as well. They said, we're going to prepare you the place over here. So I felt I went to their place. Who's organizing the place? It's you that she was. They're caring and about and running around, taking care of every detail. And I just got this lesson on the flesh of love, of friends, of endless giving. I received that here, and I'm very happy that I have arrived here, and I'm thankful to the Creator. Thank you. Friends, the finale will be from Women Moscow 8. Please, this is such an excitement after we had a congress of entering Lishma. Now we're having a congress of there is none else besides him, and this excitement of the Creator organizing this holiday for us, of there is none else besides him, these physical gatherings. There is a desire to give gratitude to that in which he is waiting for us, organizing everything for us, through the acts of the friends, through the hearts of the friends. And this congress is certainly different in its inner content. There is a desire not to miss out on this opportunity to connect, and this connection between us and with the Creator. So, dear friends, there are many more groups who want to participate, but we want to advance to our next degree. Yes. What we're now going to do is pray. We now want to gather all the hearts, all the yearnings, all the impressions, all the pain, all the joy, everything. We want to gather that into one. No one here is alone. Everyone here is as one man with one heart. We will now read an excerpt of Rash, and with that, we will enter into a common prayer. Excerpt number 1 of Rash. We request the Creator to give us the force, the strength, so we can perform all our actions for you, meaning for the sake of the Creator. Otherwise, meaning if you do not help us, all our actions will be only for our own benefit. As if not, means if you do not help us, all our actions will only be for ourselves, for our own benefit. For we are powerless to overcome our will to receive. Therefore help us be able to work for you. Hence you must help us. This is called do for your sake, meaning do this. Give us the power of the desire to bestow. Otherwise we are doomed. We will remain in the will to receive for our own sake. Let us enter into a common prayer. Friends, we'll take 2 minutes around the whole world clee, and we'll pray together for the success of the friends, for the success of the Congress, and we will bring contentment to Rav and to the Creator. Prayer. Thanks, friends. Together we'll succeed. And announcement to end with first thing. Friends, the Shabbat meal in Israel. For that you need to register in advance, and they will send you the details in continuation. Second announcement, tomorrow the World Cooper Convention connecting to there is none besides him. We're going to start 6:30 a.m. Israel time. There's going to be the open broadcast, At 700 am there's going to be physical gathering and light. Buffet here, and then 8 till 8:30 am will be the preparation, and then we'll continue the schedule of the convention. And then now we're going to read the excerpt from Zuro for all item number 9. The prayer of the righteous is joy for the assembly of Israel, not for to be crowned with the prayer before the Creator. This is why it is more loved by the Creator than the prayer of the poor. And for this reason, the Creator desires the prayer of the righteous when they should pray, because they know how to appease their master. We'll end with song. My dear friend, please take my hand and lead the way, and we'll rise and step together every day. With your help, I'll finally break this heavy heart of stone. I can do this on my own. Without you, I feel alone.